Okay, so last time we started going over 1.1 algebraic expressions, okay? And if you guys all turn your attention over here to this sideboard, August 21st, on Wednesdays we wear pink. SWBA, who can remember what that one stands for? SWBA. Okay, students will be able to, the T is silent, I like to say, okay? Students will be able to write algebraic expressions, and we're finishing up 1.1 with that. And then after that, we'll have some time, we'll work on some homework for that, work on a worksheet for that real quick, some practice, and then we'll jump into section 1.2 because it's not a very long section on these, okay? And we were already almost done with the first one. Questions on that? Oh, okay. So let's review where we were so we can jump into where we're going. I don't even need to play the calibration game today. I like that. Okay. Hey, so we said variables were symbols used to represent unspecified values. Talked about all these different kinds of variables we could have. Okay, we gave some examples of algebraic expressions, went over some other vocab, and talked about using our exponents in that ways, right? Okay, remembering this hopefully. Okay, if you missed this reminder, look on Google Classroom for that video and watch that. Okay, oh, in my other class, I left this for my other class. I redid it for them. One of them said like, oh, a mustache? So I drew a mustache. But it's kind of random. Okay, then we went through these, we sorted them out, and we said, hey, here's what these different words would mean mathematically for our operations, okay? See, we did all of these, right? Okay, so I thought, perfect. Okay, so we talked through these, we talked through the difference of these, okay? Remember, here the comma makes a huge difference. The comma makes that huge difference. That's why that note is there, okay? The product of 3/4 and a raised to the 7th power. The correct one is this one in the green, okay? The wrong one, or excuse me, the correct one is the one in the orange. The wrong one is the one in the green. Excuse me, I misspoke there. Okay, 3/4 and a, the product of that, comma, so meaning after you do that, put it in parentheses, raised to the 7th power. So it's 7 of those multiplied together, rather than 3/4 a, and only a is multiplied 7 times. Okay, so like green would be the wrong way there. Okay, questions on that? Oh, okay, we're cooking. I like to say we're cooking with hairspray. You ever heard like we're cooking with fire now or cooking with gas now? It's an expression, okay? Maybe you guys have heard it. I see a few of you are like, yeah, a few of you are like, no, okay. I feel like I'm old now, beginnings. No, cooking with fire, like now we're cooking with fire, now we're cooking with gas, some sort of fuel. Because now we're really going. Because if you're cooking just like, sunlight or something like that, it's not gonna go very fast, will it? Okay, but if you're cooking with like fire, you're gonna cook it pretty quickly. Okay? So the reason I say cooking with hairspray as a joke is because one time when yes, it's hairspray. When I used to work at Walmart. Okay, I was working at Walmart, and over the summer one time, some people had like a grill out. I wasn't able to make it. That was okay. Didn't really want to go anyway, to be perfectly honest. That's beside the point. Okay, so they had this grill out, and they were like, "Oh, that's how do we start the fire?" Okay, and they were having trouble starting the fire. So someone comes out with a can of hairspray and a lighter, and is like, "Shh," okay, and lights the fire that way. Okay, don't try that at home. Probably shouldn't even tell you guys about this. Okay, not good. Okay, and so they end up so they end up cooking on a fire that they started with hairspray, and I'm like, now we're cooking with hairspray. So anyway, all right. Writing verbal expressions, okay? So here we're going to be going the other way from where we were going, okay? Reversing it. We started off with the algebraic expression with the numbers and symbols, and now we're going to be converting it back into words, okay? So who has an idea of what this first one could be if we were to write it out as a sentence? Okay, Ray.
8x, I forgot what the 2's called. Like,
Squared?
yeah,
Exponent?
8x squared divided by 5.
Right? Right? That could be one way to word it. I would say typically if we were to go more in line with what happened here, like 9 plus the product of 2 and the number d. Did it say 2d there? No, it's a 2 and the product of 2 and the number d. So maybe we want to be a little more careful with that. Instead of saying 8x squared, what could we say for that top part? I like divided by, what was that? Okay, 8 and what operation are we doing there with x? Okay, we're squaring x. Okay, the product of, okay, or 8 times, okay? So maybe the product of 8 and x squared product of 8 and x squared. Now is the whole thing being divided here?
Yes.
Yeah? So it might be a good idea to what before saying divided by 5? Put a comma, exactly right. So let's kind of walk through why this might be a good idea to kind of word it this way. We had a lot of the pieces there and we figured it out on this first one. So that's really good, okay? So we said, hey, we know 8 and x squared were together, and a lot of times we just say 8x squared. But if we're writing an actual sentence, like the ones that were given to us earlier, we want to say, hey, the product of 8 and x squared, or 8 times x squared. And then put that comma because this is happening, all this division is happening after that multiplication, right? It's dividing the whole thing. Questions on that first one? It was a little tricky. Okay. I want you guys to try that second one. Okay, I want you guys to try that second one. Go ahead and start trying the second one on your own. Look it over, think about it. What can we do? Yeah, if you're needing help, okay, if you're thinking, how do I start this? Flip back to the previous page. Okay, look at the ones that we went the other way on. Okay. Now, is there only one way we could do these? Is there only one right answer? No. Okay, there's a lot of right answers, okay? There's a lot of different right answers, okay? Who has one they think is good? Okay, Nexaria?
I said the product of 16y taken away from y to the 5th power.
I like that, okay? The product of 16 and y taken away from y to the 5th power. Okay, so that's one way you could have it. It's not how you have to have it, that's one way. Okay, Levi, do you have a question? Okay, Gretchen. Anyone else have another one that they think, hey, I'm wondering if this is right? Levi.
The product of y raised to the fifth power subtracted, comma, subtracted by 16.
Okay, yeah, I can get on board with that. So y raised to the fifth power subtracted by 16y. Okay, I can get on board with that. Okay. I'd be a little more inclined, once again, kind of like we did earlier, to say subtracted by 16 times y, something like that. So that way we know it's being multiplied with that. Okay. Any others that someone wants to share and say, hey, is this right? Will this work? Okay. Let's go ahead and try this third one. Okay. Let me go ahead and try that third one. Who has one they wanna throw out here? Okay, Victoria?
I said a to the third power, I to the product of 4b.
Okay. A to the, we kind of scrunched that together there. A to the third power. That's really bad. I'm gonna redo that. There we go. A to the third power, then you said added to?
Added to the product of 4b.
Added to the product of 4 and b. Okay, great. That's one example that would work. It doesn't have to be that way. That's one example that would work. Yeah, right.
A to the third power plus the product of 4 and b.
Yep, a to the third power plus the product of 4 and b. That would work. Okay. One I had written down personally was a cubed plus the product of 4 and b. Okay.
I had b cubed first, but then I changed it.
Then you changed it. Yeah. Nothing wrong with saying it's cubed. Yeah. So there's plenty of different options that can work. Anyone else have anything you want to throw out there? Want to ask about? But okay, what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna pass out a worksheet, and we're gonna work on this for a little bit. Okay. Now, excuse me. heads up, the worksheet is front and back, but we're not doing all the problems, okay? We're not doing all the problems, okay? I'm horrible at this, Mr. Costa.
Yeah, you can at least do it once. I had to do it 4 times last class.
You did, though. You did it to yourself.
I know.
In the words of DJ Khaled, you played yourself.
You know, I used to think that he just said like his name in the song and he didn't actually make the beats.
DJ
Like I thought that's what his job was.
Really? Just
I
do
don't
that?
get how he makes so much money off of just making beats and not
It's
all the
like,
really popular
DJ
songs that blow up so he gets the
I hate when
I would say there's some when he says his name.
Well, he makes the beats apparently.
Yep, he does.
He's good.
Are you sure he doesn't have people
Yes.
to make the beats and he just goes, DJ Khaled?
maybe he
I'm
hides
sure
it.
that part of him know that he made that beat.
It is. He doesn't say anything else the rest of the song, so he has to get his name out there somehow.
Yeah.
That's really what I got to do millions off of.
That's funny. Yeah, if I can get famous for yelling out, Mr. Castle, wouldn't that be cool? Okay. Hey, so on this worksheet, the first half, it's doing what we started with. Okay, so it's taking it's taking verbal expressions, turning them into algebraic ones. Then if you flip over to the back, or how it starts off on the very bottom there, oops, okay, and then it goes to the back. It's doing what we just did. Okay, taking algebraic ones, making them verbal. Okay, now we're just gonna do the odds only. Okay, we're gonna do odds only. So write that at the top. So write your name on there. Write odds only. Okay. Okay, and we're gonna spend a little bit of time working on this. Okay. We're gonna spend a little bit of time working on this right now. So if you guys want to, you guys can feel free to pop in some music or something like that. Okay, just don't let your phone or laptop be a distraction to you. Okay, I think you know what that means. Okay, the distraction, that's when we get it taken away. But just don't let it be a distraction to you. Okay. So feel free to pop in some tunes, listen to that. Okay, we're gonna work on this for a little bit. Let's plan on working on this it ends up being a total of 13 problems. Okay, it ends up being a total of 13 problems. Let's plan on about 15 minutes. Okay, so we'll come back at about 8:51, 8:52. Okay, we'll come back and we'll have some work time right now. About 8:52ish. We'll come back and check in where we're at. Okay, that sound good? Okay, if you have any questions during this, are you allowed to ask?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, raise your hand, come back to me, wherever I'm at, floating around the room, okay? Say something, okay? Cool beans?
Cool beans.